women that I like for Lagos, and I like 2 women for where I will come. The 2 women that I like for Lagos, I don't go their name. They cannot go for them. They don't have one mission piano. Yeah. He said my morale is down. Why? He said the way this woman really comes, my man. Oh, he said why? I said I can't take it easy, sir. He asked me why. He asked me why. I said I can't take it easy, sir. He said he said before the NSAS program, he said I always clear my table. Sometimes I sign 15, 10 petitions a day. My morale is high there, but now my morale is low.
The man went on duty with rifle, and while he was there, he just come back to submit the rifle. That he dreamt that somebody is beating his wife at home, and he want to submit the rifle. Has he committed any offense?
It's not because his body is present, his mind is absent. It's justified. No offense has been committed.
He has in the Nigerian police force and in policing to organize this seminar/workshop to encourage police officers, because at the moment officers are demoralized. So we deem it fit that we need to boost the morale of the officers. That is why we searched and got a perfect person, a person of, I call him super special guest, and his lovely wife, who is a security expert, in person of Dr. Ona Ehome.
The appropriateness of today's event cannot be overemphasized, considering the fact that we have just experienced an orchestrated destruction of police and other public and private critical assets, especially in Lagos and some states in Nigeria. Police facilities were vandalized and set ablaze, while policemen in the service of the nation were gruesomely murdered. A fallout of NSAS protest, which started on a peaceful note, but later hijacked by hoodlums across the nation. This incident adversely affected the morale of the officers and men of the force to duty, and there is urgent need to boost their morale so that the public space can be adequately and efficiently occupied and the expected security and safety can be effectively in place. This development calls for a sober reflection and the urgent need to go back to the drawing board to first boost the already dampened spirit and morale of our officers and men and holistically partner and engage the members of the public, critical stakeholders, and our traditional institutions in ensuring effective and efficient policing of our community in the renewed spirit of community policing. More than any other administration, the present Inspector General of Police, IGP Adamu Mohammed, MPM MNI, place utmost importance to community policing. In order to deepen community engagement in policing, advisory committees from states to the community level were created with the introduction of community special constable expected to represent each community. This is aimed at creating the needed environment for citizens and other stakeholders to be involved in identifying problems of security and safety in their locality and work out appropriate and clinical response to them. More than ever before, law-abiding citizens, critical stakeholders, organizations, corporate bodies, traditional institutions, as well as many Nigerians should resolve to partner with the police to provide the much-needed safety and security for our environment so that businesses and indeed nation's economy will blossom and our neighborhood will become a safe haven. The police cannot be everywhere at all times. The public can greatly augment the information gathering and capabilities of the police and ensuring sustained partnership, which is called community intelligence generation mechanisms. Officers and men of this noble profession should put in the past behind them in the spirit of nationhood and assiduously work to correct the negative perception of the public about police officers and policing. We must have a change of attitude to our duty and put the people at the center point of policing. That is to say, our policing strategy should be people-centric, satisfactory to the people, and good enough to remove fear and uncertainty in the mind of the people anytime they have contact with the police. It should be the one that demonstrates that policing can be done in a manner that does the least harms and even prevent violence. Police must be available and respond to call or request for assistance regardless of status or background. Ensure accessibility and high police visibility. You must be helpful to the members of the public and respond to requests in a manner that is sympathetic and showing empathy. By responding to individual routine security concerns, police will more likely persuade community members of the benefits of assisting police. You should be a problem solver and know the art of resolving disputes. You should also be fair and respectful, courteous, tolerant, tactful, open-minded, and slow to judge. You should show competency and high level of professionalism and respond expeditiously to fear and concerns seriously. Still on ethical conduct, you should understand that your actions are subject to laws and regulations and use of firearms by strictly applying Force Order 237. Citizens have the right to expect proper behavior from you, while in reciprocity, you deserve respect and recognition. Life is sacrosanct, and your life is not less important to the life of every other Nigerian. When you are being unlawfully attacked, or the facility you want to protect is being attacked, you have every responsibility to defend your person and the facility from any unwarranted attack in line with all legislations and extant laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Professional police standards of ethical conduct include commitment to behave honorably and with integrity, steadfastly adhering to high moral principles and professional activity. You should conduct yourself in and off duty in such a manner as to maintain trust and confidence. You should avoid practices intended to take undue advantage of others or conflict of interest, and should uphold organizational standards and policies.
Without wasting much of our time, I'll hand over the mic to our guest speaker, Dr. Ona Ekumu.
It gives me great pleasure to present this paper on policing in Nigeria, especially after the difficult events of October 21st and 22nd, 2020, when a mass action embarked upon by NSAS, #NSAS group, almost brought the southern part of Nigeria to its metaphorical knees. Southern Nigeria was hard hit by the acts of wanton violence unleashed by hoodlums after the Lekki shootings of 20th October. The rioters looted, burned, pillaged, vandalized,
compromised, damaged, and destroyed assets throughout Lagos and other states. Aside from attacks on property and trophy buildings, such as the Igboshere Courts Complex, the Nigerian Ports Authority headquarters, buildings and banks in Lagos State, the rioters targeted police facilities and personnel. The pattern of attacks, ferocity of attacks, and frequency of attacks on police personnel, police stations, and police cars would lead me to conclude that the mass action in southern Nigeria was indeed an attack on the police agency. Although correctional facilities, COVID-19 palliative stores, and some houses of politicians were attacked, the principal target of the rioters was police personnel, police facilities, and police mission. The rioters also stole a large number of AK-47 rifles and other weapons in police stations, arming themselves and presenting a grave threat to society. It is a known fact that insecurity in Nigeria is aggravated by the proliferation of illicit arms and small arms and light weapons in the West Africa sub-region. The loss of hundreds of police rifles to rioters is clearly a worsening or exacerbation of the arms proliferation in the country. It was the good work and hard work of SARS officials in Anambra State that brought an end to kidnapping in that state. Please, with all due respect, I think the police agency deserves an applause. We actually deserve an applause because if you have been a victim of kidnap before, you know it's not fun and games. It is serious business. It is life-threatening. It's claimed a lot of lives. And if you remember the history of this country, at the time, Anambra was a no-go area. Lagos also had that reputation at the time. But it was the police agency that brought that to a halt. Now, I was informed that Yahoo Plus are the people who actually get involved in rituals. Rituals, yes, okay. They get involved in rituals. I used to think that Yahoo was just about sending 419 emails to Oyibo and collecting money from Oyibo. They said that that's Yahoo, but you have Yahoo Plus. Those ones actually, so that's how I see a lot of these stories in the papers about a young man took a girlfriend to a hotel somewhere in Ibadan and killed the girlfriend and harvested some critical organs. So what was happening was that there was an effort ongoing to try to track them down and stop them in their tracks. Attacks on the police. The October 21st to 22nd attacks on police throughout southern Nigeria were unprecedented and historical. We ought to study what happened, why it happened, and how it can be prevented. This post-mortem of the attacks will enable us identify the threats against police facilities and personnel to enable us better defend the police, even as you provide internal security services to the Nigerian nation. The police agency lost 22 personnel throughout Nigeria during the unfortunate violence in October. Let me begin by saying that I believe Nigerians love the Nigeria Police Force. Most law-abiding citizens consider the police their friends. What happened in Lagos on Wednesday and Thursday, October 21st and 22nd, were well-coordinated and premeditated attacks against law enforcement using the excuse or pretext of shootings at Lekki toll gate to visit violence on the police. It's not normal for members of the public to mount large-scale attacks on public law enforcement officers. The attacks of October are unprecedented in the history of Nigeria, where police personnel were systematically hunted and then killed. I said to, why am I saying this to you in some stretch? I said to a policeman, don't lose hope, please. Because yes, something very terrible happened, but you know, it was mishandled. And you didn't mishandle it, you did your job. You were out on the streets, you were doing your job as faithful servants. And you did a good job too, if I may say. But, you know, thank you. But somebody somewhere, you know, because there are many agencies of government that are specialized in so many very different things. And there were assets, government security assets that should have been deployed well ahead of the events of October 20th to pour water on it rather than the events of October 20th that now poured gasoline on the fire. And of course, you know what happens when you pour petrol on fire? You go make boom. So, anyhow, that's so it's not you. You didn't do anything. You are, you know, yes, we have, SARS is a member of the police agency, but SARS is just a dedicated committee.
He was born on 27th May 1961 in Tuluwada, Kaduna State. He attended LEA Primary School, Paki Road, Tuluwada, Kaduna, Rini College, Kaduna, and School of Basic Studies, Ahmad Bello University, Zaria. He holds a Bachelor's of Arts, honors in History and Social Science from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. A diploma in law and master's degree in business administration, and also an honorary degree, PhD in public policy and administration from Prowse University, Delaware, United States of America. AIG Ahmed Iyasu PSC Daga was enlisted into the Nigerian Police Academy Annex, Kaduna as cadet ESP in the month of March 1988, and has served within the force in various capacities. He was one-time OC Basic Studies at Police College, Kaduna, Director of Professional Studies at the Nigerian Police Academy, Kano. As Assistant Commissioner of Police, he was Area Commander, Sokoto Metro, and Deputy Commissioner in charge, Anti-Fraud Section, at the 1st CID Abuja. He was also the 2IC Command at the Front Authority, Western Command, Lagos. And when he was elevated to the rank of Commissioner of Police, he was posted as Coordinator of Courses, Police Staff College, Jos, Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, and First Provisional Marshal in charge of discipline. Prior to his elevation to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police and posted to Zone 2 Lagos, he was the Commissioner of Police in charge of Kano State Command. The AIG was on assignment at United Nations, Angola, Verification Mission 3, UNAVEM 3, as Chief Inspector in Rwanda, 1995 to 1996. AIG Ahmed Iyasu PSC Daga has attended several courses among which are, but not limited to, the camp, ADC course, Police Staff College PSC, Jos, Intermediate Command Force, ICC, Police Staff College, Jos, Counter-Revolutionary Force, CRC Command and Staff College, amongst others. The achievements of AIG Ahmed Iyasu are, but not limited to, smashing of many notorious armed robbery gangs and recovery of many properties, vehicles, and arrest of fraudsters in Kaduna, Gombe, Sokoto, Tako,
This is aimed to motivate, reinvigorate, to work on the psychology of our men in line with the IGP's directive for policemen to occupy the space, to heighten safety and security all across the space. That is the essence of that. That is why we have experts on psychology. It's a workshop on human psychology as well as community policing partnership to further create better perception and partnering in line with the new community policing drive.
Because we are all consumers of police services in this country, And without effective policing, we all suffer one way or the other, no matter you know, how we think it might not affect us.